right, welcome back, everybody, to the second episode of the G.I. Joe First Appearance Spotlight from CBSI. This is a master list that we have of basically every G.I. Joe character you want to know about. We know their first appearance, so come on over to the site and check it out. But what we're doing here is we're going to pick three, and we're just going to let you know about those three, just to give you a heads up. Maybe something you're not thinking about, maybe something you might be looking out for, so you know the first appearances. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, hit that alert button so you don't miss the content. And just hang on for a second, and Ben and I are going to be back to share three books with you. Okay, so our first book, our first appearance is going to be, I want to say his name correctly. Is it Crake? This is the new Cobra Commander. Original Cobra Commander apparently gets killed off in this IDW run, and he gets replaced by this drug cartel running. I don't know what's going on exactly. This is some newfangled G.I. Joe stuff, but it's still something you need to be paying attention to, because who knows when they come back and make these movies what characters are going to pick out of the woodwork and use. So even though there's not a lot of new characters being introduced in the newer series, you should pay attention to the few that they do.
I like this guy too because of his background, and I can see them pulling this out, even if it's, I don't know, even if it's 3 or 4 Joe movies from now. He basically kills off like this big drug ring that's like known worldwide or whatever, so that he can take Cobra public, because he doesn't like them being secret. So, out with the old, in with the new, wildly intense, like, I don't know, man, IDW, this in-between stuff before you get the ARA stuff again.
Yeah. I mean, this makes a lot of sense, though, when you think about it. Like, in our modern age, as kids, when we were in the 80s, when we were kids, why are Cobra they're the bad guys. Why? I don't know. They're terrorists. What does that mean? I don't know. They're bad guys. Like, what do they want? World domination? But, like, this puts it in a place that maybe they decide to kind of work off those original Joe movies, and they don't want to completely, like, scrap and say, you know what, Joseph Gordon-Levitt's weird Cobra Commander, we're just going to kind of and we're going to go with this new guy that people can kind of understand. I mean, they're talking about, I don't know. It's just something that it's possible. It's possible. It's something to pay attention to, and even if it's not movie related, it's still kind of interesting. It's still a Cobra Commander, after all. You know what I mean?
I think that's a good point too, Peter. All movie news and all that sort of thing aside, this is the first appearance of a Cobra Commander in the G.I. Joe verse. That alone makes it important to the fans, to the readers, at least if they enjoyed this part of the run, this part of the story. But
we can't get too focused on the movie stuff, because even though, like, the next guy has a look that is like movie, I guess, I don't want to say perfect, but it's something that they'd like to really show in the movies. I mean, he kind of looks
Michael
like he reminds me of Ghost from that Ant-Man movie, realistically. But Wraith is a character. He just looks cool. I mean, I don't know if it's just the Turner art that was on some of the covers or what, but he catches your eye, even if he doesn't last very long.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the Turner cover. This is a second print, and there's some wild Turner covers. I think we talked about earlier. I think it's 33 and 34, maybe, or 32.
Yeah, I think so.
But this is a fun character that figures and statues have been made because of very short-lived that DDP, the Devil's Due Publishing. And I think he gets killed off.
He does. I think Baroness takes care of him at some point, but he still has a cool look. And to your point, they made toys. There's action figures of this guy. Was a character that they kind of liked, even if he didn't last very long in the comic book stories. But he's got a cool look. Again, it's a striking look, and I think his whole deal was he's not really a mercenary. He just kind of likes chaos and killing. I don't know, just it's kind of craziness. It's but G.I. Joe 31 is his first, and you shared the second print because how many Devils do second prints do you come across in your travels? Like this isn't today's, second, eighth print incentive variant age. Like a second print back in this time frame in 2003 ain't quite the same animal. Whether you like second prints or don't. I mean, I'm not the hugest second print guy. I don't think a second print is really the first, but it is still a rare and collectible. So it is something that I do, hold in some regard and do like to look for personally.
Yeah, man, the regular 31 is plentiful and it's cheap. I'm not gonna lie, I like this cover so much more. I completely agree. It's second appearance. Second prints are not first appearances. It's the second printing of a first appearance.
But it's still rare and it's still collectible. It still has a point of interest. Arguments aside of whether it's first or not, that's not the point of why I think this is a good book to go look for. It's an awesome cover and it's not easy to find. That in and of itself is enough to sell a lot of books these days. But our last one goes old school. We hit up the old school Real American Hero time frame with that G.I. Joe 31, and this G.I. Joe 31 is the first Spirit and Freedom, which is our Native American character and his eagle. That if you bought the figure, you got a cool eagle action figure. That I love that thing. I used to move it around, and let other Joes have that eagle flying around on their wrist because you can kind of clip it right on there. It was just super cool to me. I liked Freedom. I mean, Spirit was cool, but it was Freedom that really caught me about that figure. It's like any of the Joes that had an animal with them. Like Ben and I were just goofing around talking about Crocmaster. Like those were the coolest. Anybody who had a Timber, the Snake Eyes with the Timber, come on, those are the best.
Those are the best, and I mean, this is another one that it's a great cover. Great cover, classic characters. This is that run of Joe where everyone remembers. You might not have had this figure, but someone within your group did, and you know, if you had it, you loved it, and if you didn't, you're like, oh man. So I think this is a good one to keep an eye out for. It's not going to be crazy money, but again, this show's not about crazy money and flips and all that. This is just showing you first appearances and, books we like and why we like them. And man, Spirit and Freedom remind me of being a kid and watching the show. So
exactly.
I got a copy of this.
Yeah. And even if you're not worried about the Spirit and Freedom, just look at this cover. This Destro cover is pretty awesome. Like with Snake Eyes, with the old school Snake Eyes, which you don't see much of. Now they want to, put a lot of armor on him and a lot of belts and packages and pouches, like he's a Liefeld character. Like this is old school. Looks like he just has sunglasses on his mask, Snake Eyes from back in the day, and I dig it. And if you want more information, you know where you can get it.
comicbookinvest.com. Check it out. Don't forget to sub. Hit that like button. And before I get corrected, I know that graphic says 2003 image, and it should say 2004 DDP. That said, we'll see you on next week on number 3.
Yeah, we'll be back on Saturdays. I had to push us off of Saturdays because of a prior engagement, but we'll be back on Saturdays next week.